I'm John Knapheide. I work for Hawkins Water Tech, and this is my Knapheide KUV. Just going to give you a quick walkthrough what I carry in it on a daily basis. So we'll start here on our first overhead compartment. It's where I keep kind of my Milwaukee power tools and batteries. We'll move down here to our first door. Got an inverter up top and kind of a little charging station with our flashlights. In the first drawer, kind of keep some of my impacts and right angle wrenches with our bits. And then second drawer is kind of my wrench drawer. Got metric and standard in there and some shorter wrenches as well to getting into tight places. Third drawer down is kind of my Allen wrenches, picks and punches. Fourth drawer down is going to be the larger wrenches for more of the commercial size fittings, bolts. And then we got my Pro Press and Milwaukee copper cutters in there, and so this is kind of my copper drawer that I'd go to if I was gonna need to do some pro pressing or copper fitting. And then got some rags here, gloves, disposable and permanent gloves there, and then some more rags on the bottom. And then over the center drawer, got some hose fittings, hose clamps, barb fittings up top, and talons. And then in the CTech drawers here, I got my John Guest fittings or push connect fittings, all in little bins. And then the second drawer down, I would have kind of the clamping hardware. So some stainless steel, more some clamps and some concrete anchors. And then underneath the drawers where I keep kind of my sockets and trays as well that slide in and out pretty easily. And then up top here, got another CTech drawer. This would be where I keep my larger sockets and 1/2-inch impact as well. And then got these little CTech tilt-out bins, which I keep some clamps in there as well. Keep everything nice and organized. So a lot of different variety of clamps up top, pipes. And then going to the back door here, I keep my pipe wrenches and thread tape up top. Keep kind of the gauges and fittings in the door there, as well as some expandable little tilt bins. And then in the drawers, got little dividers in there for some sawzall blades, some wire wheels, some step bits, and then angle grinding and a little square. And then I got my drill bits in the next drawer down for the hammer drills. And then I got my kind of bolt extraction drawer, left-handed bits, punches and taps and things of that sort. So if the bolt gets stuck, this is kind of the drawer that I go to. And then I got my Milwaukee little bins on the below the CTech shelf there. Going around to the back of the truck. Got some things hanging up on the doors. Highway product slide out here, so this whole thing slides out. So kind of self-holds it, and then got a post made up if you're on a job site for a while. So it just helps to support the back edge here with the large toolbox. So the bag here, this would be the bag that I typically take on in every service call or project. So that would carry like my rags, my test kit, my TDS monitor, pressure gauges, just some small consumables that we typically would use on every stop, some extra pairs of gloves. And then behind that, I got a pack out that I keep a garden hose in, as well as another transfer pump. And then I got a Milwaukee crate that we carry kind of a disposable set of boots in there. So if we have to stand in some water or a wet environment, we often throw those on. 5-gallon bucket with some funnels for loading tanks. And then I got a shop vac, as well as a Milwaukee tote that we carry kind of the sweat fittings and torches in as well. Got some mats for kneeling on, clack wrench and some gloves, foldable ladder that we use for standing on, platform ladder is what we call it. And then we got another large box here as well. On top of the CTech bins here, carry my bandsaw, chlorine tester, and some parts for some RO systems as far as floats go. Got a chain vise on this side, as well as a regular vise over here, and then actually have a faucet that I installed so you can clean up after the job site before you get back in the truck to head home for the day. So on the back here, I got these small bins that hold kind of our electrical fittings and supplies in each one. So we've got heat shrink in one, and then your standard connections. So quite a few different fittings that we do for hooking up systems. And we got small parts bins, so often take these off and set them over here so you can go through them. Just an easy way to keep your small parts organized. And then got schedule 40 fittings kind of in these red bins that pull out that you can take into the job site as well. Put these small little shelves in there. So that's typically the 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch fittings up to 1 inch. Up top here, got some more little bins that pull out. That's where all the pressure gauges are held. And then these are kind of where our spring clamps and bolts are. So anything to do with kind of strut configuration are kept in these bins up top. Going across to the center wheel over here. Kind of my hardware section with screws, nuts, and bolts, Tapcons, kind of your anchoring drawer there. And then second drawer down, that's where I get into the stainless steel fittings of the 1/2 inch size and some ball valves. Got my Milwaukee trays just fit in there nicely out of the pack outs. Got little bolt organizers up top here. So that's where kind of all the nuts and bolts are kept, just slide right on top of the CTech bin up there. And underneath, I keep my larger pipe wrenches as well as some extra zip ties. And then the glues and cleaners are kept in here. Up top over here, got another set of CTech drawers. Kind of where a little bit of a catch-all here. Keep some wire whips, some extra system controller wires, and some reset box. Then kind of more wires on this side. Got some extra wires in there. On the front door over here, we got Schedule 80 fittings across the bottom. And then got some more electrical supplies. Some more of your commercial softener parts in here, micro switches, injector housings, and then some push-puller tools, some fuses, more kind of your electronic section over here. And then the bottom one, I keep my hole saws, more pipe cleaners and thread sealants. So that's usually what I carry on a daily basis in my truck.